I feel like all those games are going to be very even. So it's going to be very hard to find the first and second place teams from that group.
All right, well, we're back in the draft phase again. Hopefully things will go smoother this time. Oh, I see. It looks like they started on the wrong side of the draft. So first pick should have gone over to PHOBIA in this particular instance. So it will be a Sky ban instead from GankStars instead of Fortress, and they will then first pick Celeste as a response. It looks like we just started with the wrong team with the first pick in the first ban. Arden and Adagio will interestingly both be picked up here. So we will have either a lane or a jungle Adagio coming through in this game.
Yeah, very interesting. I assume that you can swap unless Araki Zoro is going to play Arden lane, which I've never seen Monte Cristo, but yeah, I would expect that to be Adagio in the lane with Rona jungle and Arden support. But we'll have to wait and see. On the other side, we did have Celeste, Vox, and Catherine. So it does make sense that Koshka gets banned out against GankStars, and the Sky ban, I suppose, the opposite team, Spectro, is quite strong on that hero.
That's right, and of course it will be with Rona selected as that final pick. We will be seeing a lane Adagio, and some changes on his particle speeds, or projectile speeds rather, for him on the latest patch, so he is a little bit more responsive in terms of his A and B abilities, so get that Gift of Fire out there just a little bit faster now, and we'll see how well Araki Zoro can play on that particular hero coming in tonight. And we are going to be starting up game one right away. GankStars versus PHOBIA. Welcome to the first game of Season 2 of the Vainglory International Premier League. It will be GankStars going up against PHOBIA. America versus Korea, as GankStars look to defend their title here on the Halcyon Fold.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see, in particular, what exactly PHOBIA can do against this monster of a team in GankStars. A lot of potential coming into this, a lot of new players, new faces coming into this team. And when you're going up against the former champions, there is a lot on the line in terms of how you're going to be perceived after this game.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like GaveVizzle actually heading over to the neutral shop immediately, trying to get some scout traps down, and they're going to start fighting right away. Scout trap exploded, no damage, and see Spectro here with that Celeste laying down some stars, but getting a little bit of damage, but having a tough time. Relentless Pursuit will take out Koldamik there, stun him up a little bit. GaveVizzle on the retreat. They've done nearly no damage right now. Koldamik coming back in for another trade.
Yeah, I don't know if they can actually take that trade. They were trying to bait the Catherine into the scout traps, but it wasn't working out. He actually laid down 2, which did not land. So from there, they really had to back off. They ate a little bit too much damage, and that's going to mean some of those small camps going over to Catherine here.
Yeah, with that hard crowd control early, taking that Relentless Pursuit on Catherine, rather, it does make it a little bit more difficult to make those early trades when you only have that one ability. So taking a little bit of a hit and falling behind slightly in gold, but not too much to worry about overall. You can see GaveVizzle just going ahead and leashing some of these jungle camps for Koldamik, who follows up immediately afterwards.
Yeah. So far here in the lane, it looks like Araki Zoro has been doing a bit of bullying. You see the lane is a little bit pushed, using those heals to push it off, but we're going to have a little engagement here once again.
And see Koldamik trying again to bait them into these scout traps. Just a little bit of a dance. Both teams having that same idea. Araki Zoro coming down after pushing that minion wave up. Just get a little shop in at the neutral and help protect their scout traps. February will go ahead and trigger one and then back out immediately.
I'm just going to give a little boost here to Araki Zoro, get back into the lane as soon as possible. Bit of a passive start, no kills so far, just a bit of posturing there in the jungle. But so far, very even in terms of farm. The only big difference, I'd say, is that Celeste is slightly ahead of Rona here, 16-8.
Right, of course, Rona becoming much more of a big pick than the last time we were here with the league in Korea. And now she will be seen much more frequently out of that jungle position, just getting a little bit of attack speed right now with that 6-shooter. Rocky Zoro coming back down again, just trying to keep Phobia out of that tri-brush. Rocky Zoro will clear some scout traps, as will Coldamik, so it's making sure they don't encroach too far. No damage going down yet, however. And now Phobia trying to loop around through the brush, but Rocky Zoro taking the safe way back to lane.
Yeah, very, very smart here so far. And I love the way that Phobia is using their Celeste to just zone out the members of GankStars in the jungle. If they have an advantage in the fight, they use her to poke them down, force them out of the jungle, and, you know, pick up some of those minions in the jungle. But if not, they just back off and poke them out and make sure that they cannot get anywhere near. Just very smart play so far from Spectro.
Yeah, Coldamik too, itemizing with those light shields for a bit of extra shield early, stopping a lot of the crystal damage that will be coming out of Spectro. Of course, Catherine not really a damage threat, so seeing what they can do early on. Looks like they're itemizing for some scrapping pretty quickly here.
Yeah, an interesting thing we saw was Gabe Bizzle sitting in the lane. In 1.11, of course, you do get a bit of extra lane XP if you were just sitting there nearby. So he really allowed Rona to hit this very quick 5, and he's going to hit 6 before Vox, I believe, here.
We'll see if they go for an early gold miner take. As a result, Stars going down the brush, just providing a little bit of vision right there, making sure no one is actively trying to take, or ambush them rather, outside of that try. Meanwhile, GankStars been very good about controlling the pressure on the wave in that mid lane and making sure that they can constantly sweep back down towards that neutral shop. You see a little bit of damage going down as GankStars now trying to go in, and there we go. Coldamik's going to be engaging on this right away. February all alone gets chunked down. Not going to fall, but they will take some minions as a result and start to push their advantage forward through this jungle. Coldamik taking a bit of damage from that scout trap. Looking for the back minions, but they're not going to find it. Now Phobia's collapsing. Coldamik going to drop a scout trap of his own. Goes right back in. Gabe Bizzle with a Vanguard onto Coldamik. Spectro getting low. There's the Solar Storm going out. Coldamik will jump out the opposite direction. They walk into a 3-man scout trap, but that'll be first blood down onto Arden. So Gabe Bizzle will follow. Rocky Zoro now here. They're going to follow up. Can they take out Spectro? Yes, they can. February and Suri getting quite low. Rocky Zoro here, and he's going to get some good auto attacks down. Very close. Dash out by Suri, and Fox will escape, but 2-for-1 trade in favor of GankStars.
Yeah, very, very well done by GankStars, realizing they could take the 2-on-3 there. Celeste a little bit too far forward, too close to Rona. Rona did hit that 6 mid-fight as well, so was very, very strong with the 2 light shields you mentioned before. So that's going to be that 2-to-1, and they are going to be able to take the gold mine as well.
Wow, close call there, though. Suri coming in and trying to pop his ultimate to steal the gold miner at the end. Not quite close enough, but it was a little bit hairy. He had a good shot at it for sure. Didn't end up taking that objective. So now GankStars just going to fall back into their own jungle and resume farming right now. Coldamik picking up that Shiver Steel so he can be extra sticky on these targets. Those of you unfamiliar with Vainglory, that will slow with each one of his auto attacks and will prevent a lot of the kiting that Phobia would like to do here.
Especially when you're running Vox Celeste, you do not want to be near Rona at all. You want to land those core collapses, try to get the stun down. Vox wants to be Sonic zooming away, and of course out of melee range. So a very quick pickup there. Loving the itemization so far from Coldamik. And also very interesting build for Adagio. I think this might be a new 1.11 thing, a Shatterglass first. You know, sometimes we see alternating current, I believe, in the past. Yeah. I mean, a lot of attack speed, which he does have in one Swift Shooter, but...
Yeah, and he does scale super well with attack speed, too, just because his Agent of Wrath... Oh, we're going to have it go in. Coldamik already popping that Vanguard, or Gabe Bizzle Vanguard onto Coldamik. Will get stunned in that brush. And another Vox ult going down, but not going to do too much damage at this point in the time. GankStars is really trying to turn on the pressure right here. They want to fight again, even though Gabe Bizzle just a little bit low.
Yeah, you can tell the lack of experience as a team here from Phobia, not really having these team fights be together, these ults going every which way, not really synced up together. And Yeah, definitely not the team fight that they wanted there.
Well, I think they knew that if they tried to commit to that fully, GankStars was baiting him in. We even saw them try and bait down by the Gold Miner because GabeVizzle dropped that minion candy at the last second to help the Gold Miner fight for them. But PHOBIA just taking a step back. They are behind by about 1,000 gold right now. But they're not going to try and close that gap quite yet. Minion candy now off the Gold Miner, so less of a threat, but another one right in GabeVizzle's inventory, and they're waiting for it.
Yeah, I believe that does last a shorter period of time.
Yeah,
I think about 30 seconds now.
Yeah, I think it's actually 15 seconds now. It's a lot shorter than it used to be. So you want to keep that up by more and more of those.
Yeah, make it more expensive to have your own little jungle turret there, chunking you down. So PHOBIA sticking in this one so far. Not quite able to take it, but here we go.
Yeah, Coldemik coming in once again, just jumping in. That's a nice ult, though, coming in from Vox. Coldemik has to get out of there. GabeVizzle also falling low, has to pop his boots, but Rocky Zora's right in the middle. There's the Burst of Judgment. Big stun on Ephemery and Spectro, and now Coldemik getting low himself. Vanguard will help him to escape. Suri gonna go for it. They are gonna take out is Rocky Zoro, and now it's going to be Coldemik trying to make something out of this. Can he take out Suri? No. That'll be an ace coming in for PHOBIA as that Tri-Brush fight doesn't go so well. Gold Miner was not attacking during most of that fight, and now it'll swing the other way into PHOBIA's favor, and they're going to just about tie up that gold.
Yeah, that was a huge team fight. Let's take a look at this replay here.
Yeah, it was a really good Vox ult right there, hitting GabeVizzle and Coldemik to start this one off. Rocky Zoro does get a nice stun, but they had done nearly no damage by that time.
Yeah, and you can see from here, Coldemik and GabeVizzle just so low. They're able to take out Celeste, but Vox in the back here, so much room with Coldemik so low. Can just kite two of them down. Catherine getting the kill down on Arden and just doing a very nice job to clean up Coldemik here, not getting too close. Make sure they get that ace.
Yeah, GabeVizzle also had hit 6, it looked like, but didn't actually use his ultimate in that fight. So part of the problem there for sure, because they don't really have very much crowd control unless Arden uses his ult, so really no peel for Adagio, which caused some of the issues right there for sure.
Yeah, and lots of silencing coming out from the Vox and the Catherine on the opposite side from PHOBIA. Now posturing in the lane, trying to push this one.
Yeah, they're going to take it again. Coldemik going to take that Vox ult, but they're going to get a kill immediately. Can they finish this one off? Suri is in the back line, getting taken out. February on the run right now, so GankStars catches him in a choke. Vox ult not quite so successful that time. Spectro also couldn't get a Solar Storm off before he ended up dying. So good catch there from GankStars.
Yeah, a good team fight there right before, I believe, Vox had his reflex block. So able to secure that kill, make sure he did get stunned. And they are going to take down the turret.
Now turning back onto that Gold Miner again, clearing out some traps. February here, can he get it done? It's not going to work. 100 gold, and there's the Solar Storm. Not going to be too much damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, kind of a waste. They're going to have to wait another 75 seconds before he does get that ability back up here. It looks like PHOBIA wants to use this point in time to try to push the turret, or maybe do a bit of invading themselves. They know that Gabe is a little bit low after that fight.
Interesting. So Clockwork is actually the first major item picked up. We got another fight coming in though. Coldemik onto Spectro. That will be reflex block though. Already used here by Spectro in that back line, and now they're going to be moving in further. Coldemik just on top of Spectro right now. He'll get the kill. Rather, GabeVizzle picks it up with that last hit. Rona. Coldemik will take number 2. So GankStars really starting to dominate. They knew that the Solar Storm was down, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, very nice team fight. Coldemik is relentless, man. That's that just stutter stepping with the Shiver Steel, getting on top of Suri every single team fight and just not letting him get away. Having the protection there as well from Arden with the Vanguard and the speed, gets right on top of them and makes sure they do go down. So able to take down all of the jungle from the side of PHOBIA, and now just going to back off by and protect their gold mine.
Yeah, especially with Rona, she gets attack speed bonuses too, so it makes it actually very difficult to stutter step that and maximize her damage because her single target attack speed does get so high, so need some actually impressive mechanics in order to pull that off.
Yeah. Also loving the very quick war horn from Arden. I'm not sure if he just finished that. I think he did.
He got it a while ago, actually.
Okay. But again, it's just a very nice item to pick up when you are going against this team that just wants to kite you away, push you, stun you, make sure you can't get close.
Now we here have just GankStars pushing out the lane again. Are up 1 turret, and they found themselves about a 4,000 gold lead. And PHOBIA, they're going to start pushing right now. They're going to take that minion mine, take their own, and see if they can shove this wave and start to get back in gold with a turret kill.
Oh man, we just have Fountain of Renewal,
Here we
Sorrow
go.
Blade, and a Crystal Infusion picked up. They want to fight.
Yeah, there we go. Warhorn already popped there. They're going to have to back off of this one, though. GameStars didn't have the backup in order to make that one work. He did drop the gauntlet right there.
Yeah, I think he got stunned
Yeah,
before
he
it
did.
actually went down.
It canceled the animation, so without that gauntlet going down, he couldn't zone them out from retreating to their tier 2 turret. That means GankStars has to fall back at least for the moment. And that's pretty devastating because Arden's ult is an extremely long cooldown.
Yeah, one of the longest in the games in terms of ultimate cooldowns. We did see Celeste go back, pick up Broken Myth. Also has a Crystal Infusion now, so they know that cooldown is down once again, and they may want to go for a fight here after buying.
Now, this is a risky strategy, too, to take the minion miner this early because you can empower those minions. Yes, they're going to be stronger, but they're also going to give your enemy more gold and XP. So you could just inadvertently make this even worse for yourself. Coldemy going in, finds an angle onto Spectro. Nice Fox ult comes through, hits 3. There's a Solar Storm, very well done. Big ults from PHOBIA, and now GankStars has to retreat. Can they take out Suri in the meantime? Coldemy looking for that, but he is going to try and back off. Not going to work. And now PHOBIA in a position to possibly take the Kraken at spawn. It looks like it'll be close. They're at least going to take the gold miner right now. That's going to be a big gold payout, 243 out of a possible 300. And they're going to take a little bit more right when the Kraken spawns.
Yeah, they're taking these team fights that essentially keep them in the game. They're narrowing that gold gap. Let's take a look at this fight. GankStars, they want to force it, but a fantastic couple of stuns,
Wow.
and the ult from Catherine makes them just all, you know, just they don't do anything in that fight.
I mean, also, I think a big part of it is if you're going to be fighting against a box like that and a Celeste that have 2 line ults, you can't just stand there in a line when your crowd control is down and your ult on your Arden isn't available and think that's going to be successful. So PHOBIA doing a good job of setting up their abilities and chaining them nicely to set up that fight.
Yeah, so only a 2,000 gold league now, 2 GankStars. PHOBIA grouping up, being very careful, using that Heliogenesis to check some of these brushes, make sure they're not running into a trap.
Looks like Sorrowblade now. They're going to go for it again. Coldemy right onto Spectro. Spectro will go ahead and reflex block the ult coming in from Arden, but that's not going to be enough. Coldemy just on the warpath right now is getting kited a little bit, but they get 2. And that's the big difference between having that Arden ult up. They were actually able to lock them in there a lot better, force those reflex blocks out early, and then make the follow-up play. Coldemy doing a great job of using his leap to get into that back line. Suri now left to defend.
Yeah, just gonna throw out an ult here, wants to kill the minion wave, but uh-oh, Rona's jumping in.
Now coming in, and Suri will be able to Sonic Zoom out of that. No, burned down by the Adagio. Damage over time on that Gift of Fire, securing that kill. 16 minutes in, Kraken is here. Will they be so bold as to go for it? 2 up. Seems like they're just going to take the minion mine for now and continue to try and shove the wave into their base and take control of the enemy jungle.
Yeah, take the entire jungle, clear out some of these scout traps, and open up an opportunity possibly after the next team fight to go for this Kraken, or maybe for some of those turrets as well.
And of course, the GankStars known as the American Express in the first season because of their incredibly fast average game time, clocking in a little bit over 17 minutes.
Yeah, they made it look easy in a lot of their games, but PHOBIA, they're sticking it in this one. I mean, they're not going home easily without a fight. It's already 17 minutes into this game, and they still have a bunch of their turrets up. So definitely still have a chance to come back in this game.
Well, a little bit of a different time, too. I mean, average game time has gone up with some of these patches just because there were changes to the turrets. Harder to turret dive now, harder to backdoor those turrets as well with the shield added on top of it, or the barrier added on top of it. So it is little bit tricky to close games out as fast as you could earlier, just because you have fewer methods for playing extremely aggressively into the turrets themselves.
Now, looks like GankStars do want to put this push on, but when you've got a Celeste and a Vox on the opposite side, you get that bouncing damage from Vox and, of course, the AoE damage from Celeste. It's very hard to push into the turrets. They clear the wave nearly instantly, even if you do have both minion mines.
Yeah, the trick is, though, that they're only a single damage type. So, while some of these heroes like Celeste and Vox can scale well into the late game, and, Vox does, you can itemize for a little bit of weapon power there and try and do a little bit more mixed damage. It's still not going to be the most difficult for GankStars simply to itemize for shield and then move on from there.
Looks like GankStars pretty content with just slowly pushing down the turrets, able to jump onto that one and burst it down. Only eating a bit of damage onto VIPL, and they're just going to back off after taking out, getting 300 gold for each of their members.
Yeah, that's pretty significant. I mean, this gold lead is getting pretty untenable for PHOBIA. They are significantly down at this stage, but GankStars not playing quite so risky this time, not jumping in. They're going to go in. Right as I say that, though, VIPL pops the gauntlet, stun onto February. February's quite tanky. They're not going to get anything here. Another Vox ult slamming through, and that's going to be the lead star missing onto VIPL, so no kill there for Spectro on the Solar Storm.
Yeah, I'm just able to back off. Very nice disengage after engaging. They realized that they were not able to secure any kills, and they just back off. Allowing Celeste to waste her ult. It looks like Catherine did not use her ult just yet, but they may use this time to go for the Kraken now. It doesn't look like there's any vision here for PHOBIA to see this.
Yeah, they're just going to try it, standing in the tri-brush so they can see exactly if they need to turn off of the Kraken. They're going to be able to pick it up pretty easily, nearly no damage taken. The question is, what can they make of it as they gobble up the rest of PHOBIA's jungle? Need to make this work, take at least a couple of turrets with it, otherwise the gold given over to the opponent will make this a net win for PHOBIA.
We do see double infusion picked up by Cull the Meek and Araki Zoro. They want to end the game with this push right now. We do see PHOBIA being very, very passive, sitting behind their turret. They want to use their wave clear to try to just eat this Kraken damage and not go down, survive in the game, get the gold from the Kraken, and, stick in this one.
Yeah, interestingly, VIPL actually picking up a breaking point right here. So he is going to be able to just stack that on top of people and deal a hell of a lot of damage. They're going to take the final fight here. One turret goes down. Kraken at 50%. GankStars holding back, trying to make PHOBIA choose their targets very carefully. VIPL getting a little low right here, but Kraken already on the Vein Crystal, and that is going to go down quite easily as GankStars will be able to take this game and go up 1-0 in Group A. They are on their way to defending the title.
Yeah, looking good in this game. Very, very